All right, what's up, stalemates? Welcome back to this preview show. It's postseason, baby. It's time. We got Corby, we got Jake, we got Tyler in the bottom right corner. We got myself. How you guys doing?
Great.
Doing great.
Doing great.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear.
LFG.
Let's go. All right. So Tyler and I, before you guys got on here, started looking at the Big 10 pre-seeds and the Big 12 pre-seeds. These tournaments kind of suck. You know what I mean? Like, am I the only one tripping? I mean, I'm not saying the athletes suck. I'm not saying the competition doesn't suck. But like, as far as like, I have a hard time seeing either tournament not really going to chalk outside of maybe a handful of weights.
It's just not really moving the needle for me when I first look at it.
I'm kind of the same way. I thought of going to the Big Tens, and then I was like, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be worth it. If you kind of watch semis on, I think a lot of this we've seen before. Maybe 25 is exciting prior to the semis, maybe. But I'm with you. I don't see a lot happening in either one of these conferences until the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's going to be crazy stuff that's probably going to happen along the way, but I have a feeling that we're going to probably have a lot of similar reactions. So, should we start with the Big 10? Should we start with the Big 12? How do you guys want to do it? We don't have to go through every single matchup, but I guess, actually, you know what? Why don't we start off like in stalemates fashion here and talk about the drama, right? What do you think happened with Brody Teske and Colton Schriever, Corby?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. My guess would be, I don't know. I mean, probably something, maybe with the with the way the system's set up or something. Maybe it got missed. The prior week we had, or a coach's poll ago, we had RBY, down at number 2 instead of number 1. Some things happen with that. So, I'm not real sure exactly what happened. And at this point, I don't know that it will really matter. I mean, Brody Teske is probably going to get the job done. I don't think it matters. I don't think Iowa, I don't think Iowa went or Brody Teske went to Iowa to be the, number 8 or 9 guy in the Big Ten, right? I don't think that's why he went there. I think he went there to be an All-American. I don't see any way, he doesn't get out of there. It's odd at that weight too, because Lamont earned what's the 10 seed, and Foley and Teske didn't earn, and they're the 8-9. So that's kind of interesting. That happened in a few conferences. It happened here again later on with one of the Rutgers guys earned at like 65, I believe, or no, 57, I believe. Andrew Clark earned and is the 13 seed, which is kind of odd. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not any way that it benefits Iowa. Or it's not like some sort of like chess match that Tom Brands or whoever is doing, right? Because there's no way in which that benefits anybody, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think what happened when that first happened, right? I think people were like, "Oh no, Teske's not ranked, so did something happen? Is Cullen the guy, right?" And no, Teske's the guy, and I look for him to have a pretty good showing. It's 8-9, right? So he'll go into RBY. If he gets by Foley, and then from there we'll see how it shakes out. But what do you think? What do you think of 25? People are like, 2 and 3, Cronin Ramos. People were kind of surprised at that. To me, it really doesn't matter much. They should see each other either way. Anything jump out at you guys at 25? It's like interesting.
I say what we could do is we could do it this way, right? Since we all pretty much know, who's going to win most of these weights. What we should do, because we're going to also be going live every day as much as we can. I think one day a week down in Tulsa, we're going to be going live. And I know that you guys aren't going. We can try to bring you in via the satellite radio or something like that. So we can talk about those matches later on. But I think what we should do is, if you look at the top, so it's the top 9, right, for the Big Ten at 125. Out of the 10 through 14, we can all say who do we think might steal one of those spots. How about that format?
Jack Medley.
Jack Medley is who you got?
Yes.
His
It's
head
a pretty
as
good
well.
one.
Jake, why you got Jack Medley?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's a really good, solid wrestler. He wrestles really hard. I think he's a guy who can upset guys on the backside. You know, he's not a guy you want to draw coming off a loss, and I think he's got to be in his last year. I would imagine Corby. So I would imagine he's gonna go really hard, and he's strong. He's given Spencer Lee fits before, and I mean he's beaten really good guys. You know, he's had some iffy losses, but yeah, I'm with Corby. Medley's the guy to steal one of these spots, and I think there's a few guys in here that you know in the top. I don't know, in that 6 through 9 spot that he can beat too.
All right, Corby, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Who's he knocking off?
Who is he gonna knock off? Braxton Brown.
Okay, Braxton Brown. That's who I was going to say.
Braxton
Well,
Brown.
right. See, Braxton Brown got that win over your boy Dean Peterson, and that got him the eight, right? Is that how that worked out?
Yeah, and they're the 8-9, so that'll be real interesting, right? You know, Dean felt it. Braxton's huge. He's a big 25-pounder. I don't know if people realize that, and good. And I mean, I said Medley, and then you put me on the spot, and then I looked through there, and I'm like, man, who am I going to pick? I don't. Oh, you know what? And I'm gonna change it. I'm not saying Braxton Brown. I'm going Michael DiAugustino. DiAugustino. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael DiAugustino, just man, I'm not gonna say the injury, but I saw it happen in Vegas, and since then it's just kind of something that's lingered and lingered and lingered. And I saw where obviously there's no film, you know, these last chance opens, you know, they're undercover, you know, you gotta like go army crawling into the place, you know what I'm saying? So there's no film of the match, but I heard he injury defaulted in the final, and so my gut tells me that re-aggravated again, and you know, I don't know if he'll look the same. So I could see Medley beating DiAugustino, and DiAugustino having a hard time getting out actually with his injury the way that it is. You know, so yeah.
Yeah, I like that pick. I didn't think about him at first. Jake, we were just talking about how brackets work and you can visualize it in your head. Can DiAugustino go in there and forfeit down to 9th place? Is he high enough that he can do that?
Well, are they going to do the weird? They'll do the weird bracketing, right? Where if guys lose, then so it's not like a normal 16-man bracket where you wrestle out to 9th place, because there isn't a 9th place. So they'll do the bracket and then they redraw the bracket depending on where you're at to then wrestle for 9th place, because there's 9 allocations. So,
You know
so
what?
it is a little weird.
You know what? Actually, if you go through these seeds and kind of look at them, actually Medley earned. DiAugustino didn't. So Medley actually did earn. The guys that earned were Spencer Lee, Braxton Brown, Medley, McKee, Cronin, Heinzelman, Ramos, Peterson, and Barnett. So DiAugustino got the 6, but he didn't actually earn. So if DiAugustino tries to do the forfeit out thing, he's not going to get in to the turn. He's going to have to wrestle out, and he's pretty banged up. So I could see Medley beating him. So yeah, I mean, I think Medley gets in. He earned one.
And I should preface this for the rest of the show. I'm just kind of going off the articles and going off the pre-seeds and then how many allocated spots. I don't know exactly who earned what.
Yeah. I can fill us in as we go if there's any questions.
All right, 133 here. The top 9 for the Big Ten gets a spot. I guess we can start off with the same exact scenario here. So you got Taylor Lamont, Henry Porter, Kyle Berwick, Dustin Norris, Jackson Cockrell from Maryland. It's hard for me to pick Taylor Lamont, but at the same time, I feel like he's been there before and he's going to be the guy too, if there is somebody that's going to sneak in there. But I could definitely see this go to chalk this weight very much.
Yeah, I could too. This is an odd weight as well because Porter and Lamont at the 10 and 11 earned, and Teskey and Foley at the 8 9 did not. And they're taking 9. So, yeah, I mean, I could see this kind of going chalk as well. I mean, I could see Foley beating the guys in this 9 through 12 bracket, which I could see being like Lamont, Foley, Porter, Berwick. I could see Foley coming out on top of that and being the 9th guy. So it'll be interesting, though. Could we get another Berwick Lamont rematch in that little 9 through 12 bracket? Maybe.
Oh, little drama there, a little tea, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I know you like that tea, boy. So I figured I'd throw that out there.
Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Corby's right on. I think Lamont is probably, as far as like outside the top 9 seeds, they're the guy that's going to do it. Berwick has shown that he can wrestle close with some guys, but he's got some liabilities from what I've seen. So I don't, trust him a whole lot. But yeah, I think Teskey beats Foley, to earn a top 8 seed or a top 8 placement at Big Tens and gets in. And then I think Foley's going to win in that ninth place bracket and be the 9th guy in. So I'm with Corby on it.
All right, moving right along here to 141. We have Real Woods at the top. The top 9 go. Cole Matten, Joseph Zargo, Jordan Hamden, Caden Rooks, and Cal Miller all looking to steal a spot. Which I guess I don't know if they're the ones who already earned or not, but of just going off the seeds here, they're going to have to perform higher than what they're going to be seeded. So what do you think, Jake? We'll start you off there, and then we'll have Corby follow you right up.
Well, Corby will be the guy who, he knows a lot more about who earned, but I think Cole Matten's a guy who is really solid. And then obviously Zargo has shown, kind of flashes of being really good. So those are 2 guys I'd be interested in. I don't know that they can beat any of these top 9 seeds. I think kind of the top 9 is really solid here. So I would, to me, I think the top 9 are probably the top 9 best guys. I think Zargo and Matten, I'm assuming one of the 2 has potentially earned. I don't know, Corby, tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I think one of those 2 guys could maybe steal like a wild card spot or something like that.
So yeah, at 41, the Matten earned. It was Matten for sure did earn, as well as Piscino. Let me see. There was somebody in the top though. There was a guy in there that didn't earn, and it was in the top seeds that. Oh, was it? No, D'Amelio did. Piscino did.
Was it Tal Shahar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tel Shahar did not earn. Correct. So Frankie Tel Shahar at the 4 was the guy that didn't earn. He didn't have enough. He didn't have an RPI. So yeah, he didn't earn. So I don't know. A guy down there at the bottom actually that's talented that I like that I think just kind of hit a wall for being a young guy is Cal Miller. I wouldn't be surprised if Cal Miller doesn't have a better. I'm not saying he's going to go steal a top 9, but seeing him in the last seed of the Big Ten, just I don't know. I feel Cal Miller does better than that. I think he can get a match in there against one of those guys, and definitely get in there. So yeah, Matten, it'd go down to 10 with Tal Shahar not earning. So does Tal Shahar bump a guy, and if so, who does everybody think he bumps? I say Phileas Purdue. He's kind of had an up and down year. That'd be my guy. What do you think?
Corby, I was thinking Cal Miller there, but then you look at his wrestle stat, and he really doesn't have a single quality win.
But
really?
the talent and skill is there, though. He was a really good high school wrestler.
He loses a lot. I mean, he's lost a lot of really close matches. I mean, even losing to Bo Bartlett 5-2, Joey Oliveri lost 2-1, Danny Pacino he lost 5-2. So it's kind of he's right there. So I guess it's not crazy to think that, but I was thinking then you look at it and I was like, man, he doesn't have any good wins, but he does wrestle close matches with really good guys.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, it's a kid that's probably not lost a handful of matches in his whole last 5 years of his life, and he comes in and then it's one after another after another. It's hard to get back on that bike, although he's close, right? I don't know. I think he could be a guy. And I know we're gonna jump a little bit here and we're gonna go to the Big 12, but while we're at this weight, I got a little bit of I know in the Discord I brought it up the other day, but I just don't understand, and I guess it slipped my mind the last coach's ranking, but how is Alirez one over Woods in the coach's rank? That shocks me. It just didn't pass the eyeball test to me, and so I got to looking deeper, and it's like Woods has wins over. These are the guys that are currently in the coaches poll right now. He's beat number 4, 6, 10, 14, and 16. Alirez's best wins 9. Then he's beat 13, 14, 24, 30, and 31. They're both undefeated. Woods has 3 wins in the top 10. Alirez's best win is 9. So, I mean, our coach is saying, okay, well, all right, career. Well, you can't say career because Alirez is never AA. So I don't, and that's very important because when it goes to nationals, right? I mean, to me, you drop off, right? You got Bartlett, you got Jack, you get a little bit of a drop off there after Matthews, right? So it's like whoever's the 2 is on Matthews' side. The 4 or 5 is looking, a little better for the 1, and it's like getting that one important. It's important to get that one right. And I just looked into that one. I was like, wow, that just kind of shocked me. And so yeah. And then I went and looked up the list of coaches that rank 41, right? And it's not. I mean, we got a lot of Hawk haters on this list. Okay, we got a lot of Hawk haters. All right. We got Coleman Scott. We got Keith Gavin, Brian Smith, Lou Roselli, Tom Ryan, Storniolo Gray, Warrensberger, Josh Moore, Matt Hill, Luke Smith, Chris Pendleton, Ned Schuck, and Daniel Elliott. Those are the guys that rank 41, right? So I don't know. You look at the stats, it's kind of hard. So those coaches out there, next time do better. When 41 comes along, it's really important to get 41 right for the national tournament. So kind of you 14. Do a deep dive at 41. Don't make me tweet at you because I will, and put all these stats out there for everybody. But Woods has beat 4, 6, 10, 14, and 16. Alirez 9, 13, 14, 24, 30, and 31. We're going to the Big Ten tournament where he's probably going to see maybe Bartlett again. So I'm just beware, coaches. Keep an eye out.
Those rat bastards.
I think I heard. Can you hit that again?
Those rat bastards.
I think that was Tom. Is that Tom?
Those rat bastards.
Is Tom next to you, Corby? Huh? Is he putting money in your pocket right now? Is that what's going on? I hear that, and I hear cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I'll tell you why I think Alirez is ahead. I don't know if you remember this, but people have been putting out the tweet about the dominance, who's the most dominant all year. And if you look at Alirez, he keeps getting put at the very top of that. So my guess is that those guys have been seeing that all season, and they think that Alirez has had, this. He's had an impressive resume. You can't knock him for not getting that talent that Real Woods is getting, right? But at the time that he beat those guys, they weren't ranked as badly as they are now. Like Clay Carlson was ranked a lot higher when he wrestled him. The other guys, just looking up at 41, Carter Young, Alan Hart, like all those guys were ranked a lot higher then. So now looking at it at the end of the season, it does look weird that they're like that. Not that that matters, but that would be why I would think that those coaches would rank him. I don't think it's a Hawkeye hater conspiracy.
Oh, so you think they were following Twitter instead of looking at results like they should be, what you're telling me?
They clearly are, because they're not doing a good job of ranking, so they're not looking at the results.
Okay. But I call them out and I'm getting paid, but you're down there. You got this guy here, you got the NIL going on at Heartland down there. Are you cutting all the Cyclones?
I'm just saying I can see how they did that. I'm not saying that I would do it. I'm just saying I could see how that they would put Illyris ahead of Woods because he has the dominance. I don't know if that matters. Is there even criteria for coaches ranking?
I mean, they kind of just do what they want, obviously. I mean, you kind of saw today some of the seeds that came out, right? It's like, and people, we're going to that at the end, right? I mean, Glory and those guys, getting their seeds and Yanni. And it's like, hey, people want to complain that people don't wrestle full schedule. Well, then when the seeds come out and they're punished, then now people want to say, oh, well, they shouldn't be. Well, the Glory one's kind of weird because him and Unger did go head to head. So,
yeah.
Kind of weird. But anyway, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
All right, 49. What do you think?
49. I'm curious to see how it's going to go for Austin Gomez because we haven't seen him since the Northwestern duel? Is that what it was? Who did they wrestle when was it Northwestern?
Yeah, it was against Yaya.
Yeah, so we haven't seen him in a while, and I think somebody had tweeted that Bono had said that Gomez was going to go, and if he was able to go, he wasn't going to forfeit out and all the way down. He was actually going to go and wrestle. So, Yaya, Max Murin, Shane Van Ness, Sammy Sasso. I think this is probably one of the better weight classes to watch for, in my opinion. If it was a healthier Austin Gomez, I would definitely say yes. But for right now, my pick to win the weight is going to be Sammy Sasso until I see how injured or not injured Gomez is. But what do you guys think about this weight as a whole?
I like it.
Yeah, I think
multiple AAs.
Sorry. What? How many AAs you think, Corby?
At least 5. Depending on how Gomez healthy he is, I think you AA all the way down to Van Ness. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think you got Milner jumps in there, probably Parco. Who's the best guy at 49 in the Big 12 right now? Trying to think.
Panera probably.
Yeah, that's Panero getting in there. Rock Mauler, one of those guys, AA. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. We forgot Yanni's going to AA, right? So that's one of the guys in there. So maybe not 5, probably 4. I would say probably 4.
Have Sasso and have they wrestled this season?
Sasso and Yaya.
Good question.
Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah, that was all hyped up, and did it not happen? No, it did. Didn't somebody get hurt in that match? No, Gomez got hurt in the Yaya match. They definitely wrestled.
Sasso won in tiebreakers.
Yes, it was in the dual meet a couple weeks ago. It was
He also beat him. He also beat him in Vegas, 8-2.
Sasso.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. 57. What do you think? Is this a Peyton Robb's weight, or can the freshman Levi crack the code?
It's Levi. Got it.
Cracking the code.
It's Levi Haynes time. I can just see the writing on the wall.
We talked about it. Me and Zach talked about it before the show. I know I'm team Levi Haynes as well. I think he gets it done. I don't necessarily like where he's at in the bracket, as in he's got to go through, I guess, Coleman or Luan as well. Whoever wins that match in the semis, but I do think he's going to beat Peyton Robb if he does make the finals. Now, if he doesn't make the finals, I don't know about that, but I do think he beats Peyton Robb in the finals.
An interesting one that I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we got a wily veteran here at the 7 seed in Mike Carr.
I agree.
All right. So that's one that'll be really interesting for Levi at the 2-7, right? Where they got a 26-year-old, whatever, Carr, very experienced, been around the block. Go back and look at his career. You're going to see a Nick Lee victory on that guy's resume at 141 years ago. So, obviously hasn't been on the mat a lot, but very talented. So that's interesting. When I saw the 2.7, I like Levi as well, but that one stuck out. I was like, that'll be interesting, right? He's not gonna throw anything at Mike Carr that he hasn't seen or felt before, So it's just kind of one that it was interesting to me.
I think I know we talked about this before too, but I know Kobe Seabrook didn't earn an allocation, right, Corby? Right, and then you throw in that he potentially is going to have Patty Gallagher, first round? They're the 5-12. That's an interesting match, especially a guy who hasn't earned an allocation. I would be worried if I was Iowa, if he loses that match, there's 10 guys that qualify at this weight, so he's going to be in that backside pool if he were to lose. I'm not saying he's going to. I think he still gets it done and earns an allocation. He earns a spot, but if I'm Iowa, I would be a little worried about that Patty match.
Listen to this okay. Will Luan and Brayton Lee are going to wrestle. The loser is going to probably go into that 9 through 12. The loser of Seabrick and Patty are going to go in the 9 through 12. Okay, that's some heat right there. Like, those guys are going to fall to the 9 through 12 bracket in the Big Ten. 2 of those guys, right? So, you're going to have, Gallagher, Seabrecht, Lee, or Luan. Will Luan, star of the year, ranked number 1 in the country. He's now the 6th seed at the Big Ten.
I have a hard time picking Brayton Lee to do anything at this point. I don't know what's going on with the injury, but I had Brayton Lee to win the entire tournament, as I had other people that were pretty wild guesses by me. But I will say I'm pretty bummed with how the year is going for Brayton Lee, and I hope that he gets better and gets back because I'm a Brayton Lee fan. But I have a hard time at this point picking him to do anything but lose, probably go 0-2.
Yeah, I don't know by this point in the season.
Yeah, it's a very weird weight. You got, like I said, Clark at 57, number 13 seed. He earned, and he's a 13 seed, right? So he's like sleeted 3 out of allocating, right? They take 10. He's at 13, and he allocated 1. So 57 is just a weird weight in the Big Ten, right? Because Kobe's up there at 5, doesn't have the matches. Neither does Carr, and then Carr beats him, and then Carr gets up into 7, and it's just a weird weight. And Patty earns, Patty earned as well. So you got the 12 and 13 seeds that earned, and the 5 and the 11 that didn't. So it's kind of interesting. The 5, 7, and 11 that didn't. So it's just that's a really, really weird weight in the Big Ten. We'll see. Man, 65. Were you guys shocked that Hamidi got the 1?
I kind of thought that was weird.
Amin beat him recently, or within the last month, I believe, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That one was a little weird to me. But that weight's kind of odd as well. A little bit. Let's see. Was Fish? Did he get?
You got 6. They got 8 qualifiers.
Yeah, Fish did get. Yeah, they got. So, yeah, 65 is going to get 8, and it was Bronigal, Amin, Kennedy, Fish, Mayfield, Karchla, Facundo, and Hamidi. So it's basically the top 8 are the top 8 that earned. Do we see? Andrew Sparks is interesting, right? Because they went back and forth this year. Sparks was the guy, then it was Cal Carlson. So it's interesting to see. I just saw that. Like, I saw it before, but it just poked into my head that, wow, it's Sparks and not Cal Carlson. So that's if Sparks is healthy, man, he's a guy that can definitely steal one of these spots, maybe from a Fish or a Mayfield.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think this weight. I don't know though. I think this weight's top 5 heavy, and then after that, you drop off quite a bit. But yeah, I think Mayfield, Bronigal, Sparks. Sparks was super talented coming out of high school, but I know he's been banged up, so I'm interested to kind of see how this top 5 shakes out. I'm really interested in a Kennedy Amin match, and then potentially Karchla Facundo is always going to be tight, and then whoever wins that against Hamidi is going to be an awesome semi. This is kind of one of the better weights, I think, of the Big Ten, top 5 wise.
I would agree.
Let's move on to 174. Top 7 at this weight. And I think this is the one that just goes to chalk. I really don't see myself picking anybody in that 8 through 14 range that could beat anybody above. I could see DJ Washington maybe having a bad day and losing. I feel like he's kind of up and down. But as far as I think beat him, I don't know.
I think like a guy like Jackson Turley is a guy who could maybe throw a wrench into things. I don't necessarily like where he's at in the bracket. I don't think he beats Nelson, but if he, if he loses to Nelson, then he's kind of just screwed, huh? 10-7 spot, with 7 qualifiers. I think you're right, Zach. I think the top 7 guys are probably the top 7 best guys.
Yeah. Fisher earned, Brands didn't, but I see, that 7th, 8th. That's going to be interesting, right? Because, on the backside, when it comes to that, 7th, 8th place match will mean something, whoever it ends up being. 84. I don't know that we get anything wild at 84 either. I don't see anything crazy happening there. It looks like the top 9 are the guys that earned, I believe.
Yep.
No, I don't think there's anyone in that back half that's gonna do a whole lot of damage after the top 8. To be honest with you,
I am excited to see your boy Saldano, Corby.
He's exciting. He's starting, I think, to figure it out a little bit more. Early in the year, it was go to the well, go to the well, go to the well. Now I think he's starting to wrestle a little more and work his stuff in there. So yeah, we'll see how he does. His bracket placement, 8-9 with Connell, and Connell's tough and pretty basic, so that'll be an interesting match. And then you're into Brooks, which Brooks beat him up pretty good. So we'll see. 197 is kind of interesting. You got an Amos Foy 8-9, which is was interesting in a duel. I think that's an interesting match. Other than that, I don't really see a whole lot happening there. Do you guys?
Do you think like a Gavin Hoffman knocks off a Silas Allred? Like, would that shock you? I don't know. I know Hoffman's had a iffy year. Allred's had a good year, but like I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
No. Allred's a big move guy, kind of a pinner, and Hoffman kind of stays more basic. Yeah, I that wouldn't shock me. Hoffman was an All-American last year. People forget that.
Right.
So
six, right?
I believe he was. Yeah. Yep. And 97, he got in there. So did some work on the backside. So and then the big one at heavyweight. We're looking at Cass Kirk probably, and then Davis and Paris, and Davis and Hilger in the quarter. I don't see anything else really happening there. Who do you guys like at that weight, though? Who do you like to come out at heavyweight from these guys?
I think Mason Paris he gets it done at home.
Do you like Mason at home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mason's looking really good. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But
Corby, do you have Iowa?
No. Penn State wins. Penn State wins. Yeah, I just don't. Iowa didn't have enough firepower. Although we saw Michigan pull it off last year, but yeah, I think Penn State in the in years past, maybe the small tournament favored other teams to maybe get them, but this year in the small tournament, I think they're fine. I think they probably win by 20 or more. My guess. Yeah, it's my guess. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I off there, or is it closer than that? Or
I think that's pretty fair, really.
yeah.
20 points. I would go with that.
I think they're Penn State's minus 800 to win. So I'd say it's pretty safe to pick Penn State. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, join our WrestleStat pools. I'm going to be posting them. The Big 12 one and the Big 10 one are up. Those are free. We're thinking about doing a paid one. We got to figure that out in the Discord. Shout out to the Discord as well. Scroll down, click the link if you want to join. We'll see you guys when we see you. Peace.